Welcome back, friends. Today I'm going to start a new series, and in this series, we are going to see the literary works. Okay, here we are going to see novels, drama, poetry. Apart from that, other literary works. Okay, so you'll be connected here if you are a literature student. Okay, it's going to be beneficial for you. Okay, this will be benefiting you somewhere, anyhow, it will be benefiting you. Okay. So in today's session, I have taken one of the very prominent work of Henry Fielding, and that's the Tom Jones. Okay, this is a very renowned work of his. Okay, apart from that, we are going to also look on his background. Okay, apart from Tom Jones, what are the other works he wrote, and what was his style to write? Moving ahead, we are going to see the title of this novel. Although we are familiar with this title, that is Tom Jones, but if you go, then you will find that there is another that we see a history of Tom Jones of Foundling. Okay, so why here author is using the term history? Why this term has not been replaced by fable or a story or a journey? Okay, it would have been a fable of Tom Jones, it might have been a story of Tom Jones, or either way, author can have used a journey of Tom Jones and fondling, but he did not. He is taking this term that is a history of Tom Jones. The question to us, a question to reader, if you are observing this text or if you are observing this title very carefully. See, a state has got its history. Okay, a country has got its history. In a similar way, in a literary world, a character too got its history. Okay, character also have a history. You cannot say that character is not having any history. It's not acceptable at all in the world of literature. Character too get his history, and many of the time we see that other author are taking the character from their previous work of some other authors, or you can say some other works. They are taking or they are matching up with those character, or they are just taking they are preceding with that character. What's the upper development? So, in a similar way, within a fictional work, also a character owns a history. It shows the development, various phases of his life. What are the things that he came across? How it led to different situation. If he would have opted some other options, if he would have not opted that very particular things in that particular situation, what would we have been the future? So this all things tells us about the history. So we are moving ahead and we are going to look at this prominent writer, that is Henry Fielding. He belongs to the 18th century. Okay, and we see here his date of birth, that is the 22nd April 1707. Okay, and he is born to Somerset. Okay, this place, Somerset. Actually, this place is being used in this work, that is the Tom Jones. If you see in the very beginning of the story or in the very beginning of this chapter, okay, then you would find that the initial story or the initial plot or whatever action is going to take place, it is going to take place here itself. Okay, and when you are moving ahead in Henry Fielding's life, then you would see that for his education, he has went to Elton College. Okay, Elton College, he was there. Okay. One more thing here, you should know that when he was just of 11 years, he lost his wife. Sorry, I'm very sorry for this. He lost his mother. Okay, when he was just 11 years, he lost his mother. Okay, in the meanwhile, his father was Lieutenant General Edmund Fielding. So he actually didn't get his guardianship. His grandmother got the guardianship. So he usually went to see his father time to time to London. Okay, So in the meanwhile, there is an incident that in 1725 he just stabbed his cousin while she was on her way to church. And just to save himself from the proceeding of the court, he flew away from there. And we see him in the picture in 1728 where he's traveling towards London to study the classic and this we call law. Okay, there. So when he was in college, specifically I am talking here about the Elton College, there he got lots of friends, okay, and some of them are going to be very, very helpful for him. And his friends were means in the opposition party, and most of the time it has been accepted that his patronage came from the opposition party, okay. His patronage actually came from the opposition parties. Okay, so Pitts, okay, William Pitts the elder, okay. It is actually mentioned William Pitts the elder because his son also got a name, William Pitts the younger. Okay, just to differentiate because both father and the son they went to be prime minister. Like actually, they see the timing. Okay, when the Henry Fielding was alive, he was in the opposition. I'm talking about this William Pitt, okay, the elder, okay, William Pitt, the elder, okay, I'm talking about it. Then we see George Lilton, okay, George Lilton is also patroning. He is the person who is patroning Henry Fielding, okay. This should be in your mind, okay. Apart from being a great novelist, okay, before he wrote novel, he was actually a dramatist. He was writing a playwright, okay, for his income, okay. And when he was writing the play, he was very, very satirical. He was very critical towards the government, the ruling government. That was the Tory party, okay. Tory party was there in the form, and he was just hitting. And specifically, if you see, then there was a prime minister named Sir Robert Walpole, okay, Walpole, he is a person who has been he is in center of means satire or critics or humor. Actually, his work has got a really a good humor, okay, and he's a very optimistic person. Okay, he's a very optimistic person. Okay, but we are coming to the point here that when he was writing such critical work, satire, then this fellow that is the prime minister of that particular time of his contemporary time, he came up with the policy or the law that any of the play or any of the playwright or any of the drama or play which is going to be performed in the theater, it should get a license before it is being performed. So he knew that he's not going to get the license, so he just stopped the work and he went away from there. And at that point of life, he was means traveling from the financial issues. There he get a fellow named Raphael Allen. Okay, Raphael Allen, if you come across, he is the person who is going to help him, okay, financially. And this person can be seen somewhere in the work, okay, that of Tom Jones is shown in the figure of Squire Allworthy. Okay, if you go, and then you would be seeing him, okay, in the form of Squire Allworthy. He's there, I think, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, see this. Raphael Allen. Okay, actually, he's a very, very prominent person. Okay, he's known for the transformation or the you can say he just gave a reform in the postal system. Okay, postal system. POSTL, postal system in the England at that point of time. That's why he's very known for it. Okay, so coming back, so here we were. If you see, then near around he wrote somewhere 25 plays, okay, but none of them have been performed on the stage, as is mentioned there, okay. Then there is one of the famous work you should know, that the Joseph Andrew. This is the very famous work of him. Okay. Apart from that, you should also know that a play that is rape upon rape. Okay, this is very, very means you can say so satirical, and this shows the injustice of law and lawyers. Okay, of that point of time. Okay, then you come with the another play that is the you see the tragedy of tragedies. Okay, this is also very important play. Okay, of his play. Okay, and when you move further, then you also see that the way he's dealing with the character is quite dynamic. His characters are not simple; they are real. They are vital. They are so dynamic. They are having the various characteristics. They are not means showing only one part of the life, but a single character has got a multiple values in his life. He has got different picture at a different point of time. When you read this novel, that is Tom Jones, you are going to come across. Okay, and specifically if I talk about this work, that is Tom Jones, then you would see how this author, that is the Henry Fielding, is means putting this at the center. Okay, we will be coming on it, but before that, I will let you know that he is known as a founding father of this novel, English novel, along with Sir Richardson. Sir Richardson is the person who wrote the very first novel, as it has been considered in the history of English literature. The very first novel was Pamela. Okay, and this work Pamela has been written by, or it has been authored by Sir Samuel Richardson. Okay, that's why he and this very fellow, that is the Henry Fielding, they both are coming across each other at the same point of time, and somewhere they are laying the foundation of traditional novel. Okay, traditional novel. Okay, so that's why they are known traditional novel founder. Okay, and if you see specifically Henry Fielding, he holds the title of the founder, father of English novel, and this title has been given up by, or you can say it has been entitled to him by a Scottish writer, that is Walter Scott. Is the person who is giving this title to this Henry Fielding. Apart from that, when you came across this, one of the writers, Baker, if I'm not wrong, Baker, he is the writer. He mentions Henry Fielding as a Shakespeare of English fictional work. Okay, he mentions this very writer Henry Fielding, that he is a Shakespeare. He's a Shakespeare of English fictional work. Okay, so now I think I should be coming upon directly to the topic of Sir Tom Jones. Okay, so now we are going to see Tom John. Okay, see this character Tom John is a picaresque character. Okay, Tom Jones is a picaresque character. He's such a, see this term Picaro. Okay, you can say Picaro. Picaro character. Okay, this Picaro means actually someone who is not following the norms of society. He's different from the society. He doesn't bother what society feels about him, what society thinks about him. He is not bothering at all. Okay, he is such a vagabond. Okay, one who is just roaming here, there. Okay, and he just take a decision what he thinks would be right for him. He don't bother what will be happening in the coming. Okay, and we can't say he's an innocent person. Okay, when you say this Tom John, he is means asked for intimacy by the daughter of this Black George, who is a servant in his house. So Molly is that girl. Molly is that girl, and we find that Tom is just very normal there. Okay, and he don't think about any moral or any morality over there, that whether it's right or whether it's wrong. He just go and have that intimacy. He take it as a very normal way. Okay, so he's not following any norms. Okay, we see there and see Henry Fielding's work. Okay, how courageous he is, how courage he hold in himself, that he's taking such a character as his protagonist. He's actually a protagonist, you should know it. He's actually a protagonist. Okay, and whom he is taking? He's taking such a character whose father is not known, a character who is known to be pastor. See, in 18th century, during those times, that term was very common. So he used it in his work. Okay. So here I am using that word because it has already been mentioned over there. Okay. So he's a bastard, and can anyone think of that a bastard could be a protagonist? He's a protagonist, and see the work, the way he is telling the story. Actually, he is himself a narrator. Henry Fielding is himself a narrator. If you go to the work of this Emily Bronte, that is the Wuthering Height. There you find a Lockwood is a character who is coming to rent in the Wuthering Heights. He's the person who is narrating the story, and he's mentioning the account. But here we don't find such and such accounts. We see that Henry Fielding is the person who is himself narrating the story of Tom Jones, and we came across several dynamic form of it. Okay, we are coming. He's a gentleman. When he's growing up, he's such a charming boy that means ladies are so much attracted towards him, and they go for physical intimacy. Without even if you see when he was there, oh, that this is the Lady Blanton. Okay, Lady Blanton. When he's moving towards London in search of Sophia, there you find. Okay, and if you really want to know the 18th century era, what kind of means society the England was, then one must read this novel. I would say that is Tom Jones, and you would get a picture of what kind of society was there. Because this Tom Jones is not staying at one place in this novel. He's just roaming from one place to another place, and he's meeting these different varieties of people. He's coming across different kind of culture, and there you see a dialectic form. Okay, dialectic. Okay, he's explaining, then he's getting the term. Okay, there. So this is all work that is, and here Henry Fielding has means left to us. He's talking about the morality. He's talking about means ideology, different ideology. He's putting lots of opinion. So it up to the reader how you take it. We who are going to make a judgment. He is very silent. He is very silent while he is writing this work. He shows each and everything. He shows each and everything, but he is not passing any comment. He is not passing any judgment on this work or any of the character. He's just showing what kind of means future they holds in their life, what kind of behavior they are showing. So lots of morality, lots of things we are coming across. So these are the things which have been open to us. Okay, these are the things which have been, and you should know this term which I wrote. Actually, it is not so old. It came around 1615, very first time it was been used here. Okay, I'm forgetting where it was been used. Once I recall, I would let you know. Okay. So now I should move towards the character. Okay, so I gave you somehow the rough sketch. Okay, what kind of taste he was having. See, he's talking about the chastity, then talking about the love and lust. He's also talking about the moral. He's talking about the moral. He's also talking about the adventures. He's talking about the humor. He's showing the optimistic view. Okay, so you are going to, and he's very satirical in this Tom Jones. He's satiring the society. He's showing you the picture of the society. If you go through his work, this Tom Jones, then there you are going to find this lady Sophia. See, this Sophia is a sister, is a protagonist, okay? But you should know that Sophia has been described as a way this Henry Fielding wanted to portray his wife somehow, okay? And you can see here how much love Henry Fielding has for his wife, okay? So you can see in the form of Sophia, and one of the work that is the Amelia, which he wrote later on after 2 years of this Tom Jones. So it was a later work of him. So there you find that what kind of things he shows on. Okay. So now I should move ahead and I should look towards the character. If I left anything, I would be coming up there. Okay. So after seeing character, I would take a pause of this lecture and I would be coming up with this second lecture. So let's come towards the important character. So the important character is Tom John, as you have seen, he is the protagonist. As I already mentioned, that he is a bastard whose father is not known, and he has been born out of marriage. Okay, the lady did not marry, and this boy was been born. Okay, so he is the person who is means shown here. Okay, and as I mentioned you that it was a courage of the author that he is taking such a such person as a protagonist, and see a more courageous is Sir Squire Allworthy. Okay, so we will be coming to him. Okay, so you should know he is the protagonist whose father is not known, and in the very last chapter, you are going to see means a climax, or you can say it's just shocking that whose son was he. Okay, Tom Jones. I'm talking about particularly Tom Jones. Okay, so he's a person and he's a very good-hearted person. Okay, I mentioned it to you, and he's a very charming boy. He's very helpful in nature because he's a person who has been saving this servant, Black George, and he's been beaten up brutally by his master, and he's been punished by his Squire Allworthy for just shooting the Patrick of other means he shoot with his this fellow, that is Black George, in others property, that I think it was something, some animal was there, or bird, it was a bird, I think, if I'm subject to correction. Okay, when I come there, I will let you know. Okay, now we are coming to this Sophia Western. See, this, she is a figure of chastity. Okay, she is a figure of chastity. Okay, and she is also protagonist, and she loves Tom Jones. Okay, she loves, and Tom Jones also means have a special affection for Sophia Western, and she's the daughter of Squire Western. Okay, she's the daughter of Squire Western. Okay, we are going to see, and we should move on with the other character because we have lots of character over there. Okay, so I'm just introducing YouTube character. Okay, then Mr. Allworthy is none other than the Squire Allworthy. We are talking, he is a magistrate. Okay, apart from being a magistrate, he's a very rich man, he's a noble man, and he's a wealthy, he's a landlord. Okay, and see, the name Allworthy means he is really Allworthy. He is very very helping nature man. He is very kind-hearted. Okay, although in public he shows that he is very harsh and he is very strict to the laws and all. He is. But from the inner side, he is a very soft-hearted person who is very helping in nature. Okay, you will see when he is firing this fellow, that is Mr. Patrick, who was a school teacher. Okay, and there was an allegation, a rumor came out that he is actually a true father of Tom Jones. So he was been banished from that Somerset, and whatever salary he was having, that is 10 pound. His salary was stopped, but then also from the underway, he is means financing this. He gave some money to Miss Patrick. So see how kind he is. His generosity could be seen that he is accepting that Tom, whose father is not known, even whose mother is not known, who is actually the mother. Okay, we see that Jenny John, we will be coming to that character. She says that she gave born to this boy, but actually she is not a mother of this fellow, that is Tom John. So we are coming to this character, that is the Master Biffle. Okay, he is the antagonist. Okay, he is the villain of this novel. Okay, of this story. So he is a son of from Brigade and Captain Biffle. Okay, so he's very jealous of Tom Jones. Okay, he's very jealous to Tom Jones. Okay, and you see that there is see, this title master is actually used for the high class England people. Okay, who the person who are coming from the high class, they actually hold that title until they are going to be an adult. Until they are going to be in the adulthood, till that they are going to this hold this title, that is master. Okay, so you should know it. And he's a antagonist is just, and he's very means he's very hypocrite. He is a big hypocrite. In the public, he is showing that he is so means following the morals and is very decent, but he is not so. He is not so. He is a very means cunning character. You can say in public appearance, he is like a milk. Okay, he's just like as pure as a milk, but inside he's a very means you can say character you can say who is bluffing. He's a bluffer. Okay, he's just flattering. He's just flattering. Okay, he's just flattering Mr. Alwadi so that he could earn the fortune, whatever fortune is hurting Mr. Alwadi, that is the Squire Alwadi. Okay, and somewhere we see that he don't have any affection for Sophia. Okay, he's just marrying her for this. What do you say that for fortune? But later on due to jealousy of Tom Jones, he is really means wanting to have a means intimacy, or he wants to marry Sophia. Okay, and we are going to see that. Okay, how these things come out. Okay, then we see Squire Western. He is the father of Sophia. He is the father of Sophia Western, and he is a neighbor. He's a neighbor. He's a neighbor to Squire Allworthy. And see, this Squire is actually a title that means a landlord who is means holding a good reputation in the society. This is what is showing there. Okay, so this is Squire Western is a father, and he is also means a greedy kind of a person. He don't want the happiness of Sophia. He's just looking that anyhow he could just acquire those property of this fellow, that is this. You say Sir Squire Allworthy, and that's why he wanted to have a marriage relationship, or you can say he wanted Master Brutal to marry Sophia, and he's putting all the pressure to Sophia that she should, and he goes to say such a such thing which should not be told to his own daughter. He's just abusing. Sometimes he has gone violent. When you come across the novel, then you will see that he's getting violent when he's locking, and the another his sister, that is Mrs. Weston, she is also coming to the picture when this this Captain Whipples dies, and there she comes into the picture. Okay, she comes on later on. She comes quite later on. Okay, when there is a thing coming on. Okay, across means love affair. Then she mistaken that Sophia is actually in love with this person, that is the Whipple. But anyhow, she get to know that this is not Whipple, but the Tom Jones. Then she put a fire into this Squire Western mind, and such as such thing as the condition, and you should do something. And this is how she means poking. She is a poker here. She is poking Squire Western. And why this is so? And at one time you see that she says that okay, it's no problem if you are not willing to marry Mr. Biffle, then you should go for some other, but not Tom Jones. Okay, you will see when you are coming on to the side. Then we see Patrick. I already mentioned he was means a school teacher, and he was being accused for being a father of Tom Jones, and for which he left, and he is working as a barber in Bellaston. In Bellaston, that is a place, particular place. If I'm going correct, is having a job of barber over there. Okay, so moving ahead, and this person is very important because you should. He's a very comic. He's a comic. He's doing comedy. He's doing lots of comedy. Okay, he's been beaten by his wife. Okay, and he's running around and telling that oh my wife has died. And actually she faint. Okay, so this person is very comedy, and lots of laughter you are going to get here. Okay, so if you come across, then you would really love that. Then Jenny Jones. This is she comes very first in the picture in the book one. I think around chapter 3 or 4, she comes in the picture, and she accepts that yeah, she gave birth to Tom John, and she is been forgiven by Sir Squire Allworthy because he's a gentleman, and he tried to explain, and he gives a lecture to Jenny Jones that you should not do such and such thing, because intimacy before marriage and going for a physical relationship before marriage was not acceptable for such and such society. That's why he don't punish, he don't send him to the house of correction, and rather he forgives him and ask him to have a fresh life. Okay, but anyhow, she eloped with an army officer or army man later on. So Squire already get a picture that she was really slut. Okay, she was not a good woman. Okay, this is all means it's coming on. This lady is important. You should keep it this character, because she will be coming in the form of Mrs. Water when this fellow Tom John is going to save her from one of the robber who is going to rape her. But anyhow, they went to Tabardine, and that into the hotel, and they are means having intimacy. And there you get one more character there, and that is the this you say this Mr. Fitzpatrick. Okay, is the she is the Harriet Fitzpatrick is actually a cousin of Sophia. Okay, and for her only, Mr. Fitzpatrick came into the inn, and he saw Tom sleeping with Mrs. Water, and he supposed Mrs. Water to be his own wife. Okay, so we will be saying that. Then we are coming to this Brigade Allworthy. Brigade Allworthy actually says in the very first chapter, you see, she's an unmarried woman with whom Squire Allworthy is living. Squire Allworthy was actually not having means his children died before. Okay, in the infancy. Okay, and they were hardly 1 or 2 years, and he lost all of his child, and later on he lost his wife too. Okay, so he was not going to marry, and he didn't marry throughout his novel when you are going to this character. So he is living with his unmarried sister in the beginning, that is the Brigade Allworthy, and this Brigade Allworthy is going to be married to the Captain Luke, okay, who is a very greedy person. Okay, so she's the actually means the mother of this Master Biffle. She's the mother of Master Biffle, and you see that when Tom is getting at his adulthood, so she has a special affection, and she likes Tom more than his own son, that is the Biffle. Actually, this Brigade Allworthy is actually the real mother of Tom. Okay, and this you would come to know in the last chapter or in the very ending portion. Okay, and who is the person who is going to reveal? She is the Jenny. Okay, Jenny Jones. She will be the only person who is going to reveal everything. Okay. In the meanwhile, she dies. She dies. Brigade Allworthy. She dies later on. Okay. And there you see Miss Patrick, her wife, Mrs. Patrick. She dies of smallpox. Okay. Then we see Lady Bellaston. Okay. She is such a clever lady that she want to take every means luxurious. She want to live a luxurious life. She want to have a fun. She want to means live a life as means you can say uh, as a queen. Okay, and want to do everything. She is breaking the everything. Okay. You can say norms which a lady should follow. She's a quite elder. Okay, and her name itself, Bella, that means wow. Okay, in Latin word, and she's a malicious nature. Okay, she thinks that only she thinks of her own self. Okay, she's selfish, you can say. This could be seen because when this fellow, that is the Tom Jones, asked asked her for the marriage, she absolutely means shocked. Why means she just want to have fun. She just want to have physical intimacy. She want to enjoy, but she is not going to give a single pie or a single penny to Tom Jane, because once she is married, this is showing society what kind of society it was. Okay, if she is going to get married, then her some of the fortune would be going to the Tom Jones. That's why she is very close. She's not going to get married, and she will be the person who is not liking that Tom goes towards Sophia, and somehow she manages to do, but she fails. Okay, she is the lady. Okay, so you should know, and. Uh, she's in the London, okay. She's in the London, okay. She's in the London. Okay, Mr. Fitzpatrick, I already mentioned, is a rash Irishman who is means looking for his wife in the inn, and while means moving towards inn, he admits that Mrs. White should be his own wife who was sleeping with Tom Jones, but this was not actually the correct information he was having. So somehow he misunderstood, and in the meanwhile, when he saw this Tom John on the street of London, he actually started a duel with him. He started to fight, and meanwhile, when there were fight going on, so Tom John stabbed him. Okay, and it seemed that he's almost to die. And meanwhile, you say Farewell. This is a person who has been asked by this Lady Bellington to just kidnap this fellow Tom John and throw him towards the ship where he could be carried away from this country. Okay, so in the meanwhile, they come Mr. Ferrable. I think is the character. Yeah, Mr. Philomer, sorry, Lord Philomer. Mr. Philomer is the character who has been asked by Lady Millington. First of all, he has been seen as a suitor of Sophia, means he is not in love or he is not having any affection for Sophia. He is just a lost person. Anyhow, he want to have a intimacy or want to have a relationship, a physical relationship with Sophia. For that, he is going to go for any extent. So he's willing to marry, but if you see inner will, then he's not actually, because Lady Bluntton say that if you really want to have Sophia in your life, then the only possible way that you should go and forcefully make a relationship with her, that you should rape her, and you are going to having a chance, and she would be under the pressure of the social norms of the society, that she would have to marry you only. That is the Lord Philomer. And see, this idea has been put into the mind of Lord Philomer by Lady Bellington. Okay, he is the person who has been, and he's only been hired to means excuse Tom John. Okay, so that if she don't own Tom John, then Sophia should not own. Okay, in his life. Okay, then we see Squire actually is a philosopher who lives with Allworthy. Okay, he is actually a teacher. Okay, he's actually a teacher. He's a tutor for this Tom John and Master Blipfield. Okay, apart from that, one more character is there. I think Thackum. Thackum, okay, Thackum, if I'm correct. Thackum is the person, yeah, here is he. So he's the person, he's also a tutor. And see, what is the thing? He's the person who is treating Tom very cruelly. He used to beat without any reason. He's just looking for a point. Anyhow, he could beat him. Anyhow, he could. Means he is horrible. He is doing horrible act with the Tom. We see he and Square. Okay, so if you see this Square and this Thopkum, there is a jealousy between them. They are not liking each other. Okay, see why is this so? Because they both are trying to have a they want to marry this lady, that is the Brigade Allworthy, because there was some means you can say uh, means indulge means I won't say indulge, but they were lusty somewhere. Okay, and this Thwackum is a clergyman, Anglican clergyman. He was an Anglican clergyman. Then we see Molly. Okay, Molly. She is actually a daughter of Black George, who's a servant in this. Square Allworthy house, who has been asked to look after the animals, so that means no one shoot other than the property owner. Okay, So she's a daughter, and she's having lots of affair with the various person, and she actually gives birth to a child, and it been assumed that it's the child of Tom Jones, and Tom Jones in the beginning he accept, but later on when he come to know that she's having almost affair, then she just means Tom Jones just excuse himself that I'm not the father of this boy or this child which Molly has given birth. So we see what kind of society means Henry Fielding is trying to show us. Okay, see this thing that he's having a child, he is getting this Molly pregnant. This also this Henry Fielding is in his life, in his own life. He actually pregnant his wife's maid, that is Mary. Okay, she was Mary was the lady. She was actually you can say a maid to her wife, and when her wife died, when his wife died, different wife died, that is Charlotte was the name. I'm not going to the full name, but Charlotte was the name of her. And later on he make up with this Mary, and he makes her pregnant, and later on he marries to his wife maid. Okay, then we come across this character Black Jaws. Already you are knowing, for him to save him, Tom is being beaten brutally, okay, by this Thacom, and we see that Mr. This Squire almost he is also very means harsh with the law. Okay, he was a magistrate, so he didn't compromise with the law. Okay, we see Nancy Miller. She's the daughter of Mrs. Miller. Actually, she marries to Nightingale. Okay, this is the fellow who actually pregnant her before the marriage, and with the help of this Tom Jones, see how good Tom Jones is. He's trying to cope up with the situation and making them come together and get into a marriage ceremony and that thing. So we see that on his instances, on his saying or on his advice, this Nightingale he marries this Nancy Miller. Okay, otherwise he was not ready to marry. Okay, so he is coming in the picture and he is helping out Nancy, and he make up the thing and the situation. So we are coming to the narrator. As I already mentioned that narrator is none other than Henry Fielding himself. So we see lots of irony over there. If I missed any of the, see, yeah, this is very important character. That is the Mr. Dowling. Okay, he's a lawyer. Okay, he's a lawyer of this captain, not captain, that Master Biffle is a lawyer. Actually, he changed his side later on when he see that he is not getting that fortune, or that means you can say amount which he was looking for from the Master Buffalo. So he switches side. Okay, in the last he's switching his side. Okay, he comes in a picture when this Tom John is in the jail. He has been sent to the jail where he was being tried. But anyhow, he is asking everyone. He is asking everyone to give a bite, or you can say, to in the court. He is just asking that you should convict. Means you should give a statement against. You should give a statement against Tom Jones, and you should say that yeah, it was Tom Jones who only killed, and he was intention was to kill, and the chances are very less. So he is the one who means creating trouble. But later on, he only reveals that it was not his plan, but it was Master Biffle who was behind him. Okay. So this character is also very important. So today I have done with the characters. So tomorrow I am going to come up with the in the next session with the story. Okay, what was actually in the story. So by the time I leave you here, okay, so we will be coming towards the story and the plot structure tomorrow itself, and we are going to see the themes too. Okay, so by the time I would like to take a break over here, and I would like to wind up my lecture. So have a nice day. Be connected here. Tomorrow I am going to come up with the story. I hope you liked my session. Okay. So this lecture would be in Hindi also, so don't worry, you are going to get this lecture in Hindi too. Okay, so by the time, thank you so much.